The trade-off is, I don't know, a couple of $1,000s. Most bikes nowadays are pretty darn durable, but they're not unbreakable. Are they going? You guys going, Corbin?
I think we're chilling right now.
See ya. Yeah. I have seen a handful maybe carbon frames break. I've seen online, not in person, some aluminum frames down towards the chainstay become compromised or cracked. And so it is a risk, right, that we take when we buy used. In exchange for that risk, we save a couple of $1,000s. But I think I'm going to cover 5 things that I look at when buying a used or new to me bike, such as my Firebird. It's a 2019 Pivot Firebird that I picked up, I don't know, about 2 months ago. And I think I got a really good deal on it, and I'm going to get to that part here pretty soon. All of my other bikes, and I've had a few, have been new with the exception of this Bronson right here. And so I was a little concerned, and that really brings us to number 1. I was concerned about the warranty. Risk assessment, I guess, is the first thing to consider, or that I considered. And that is the risk of damaging the frame, and with it being used, not having the warranty to cover it. The other risk associated with buying used is risk of scams, right? I almost bought a used bike from a fellow out in Oregon, I think, and I decided not to. He wanted Venmo, and I think PayPal, it's a much safer option. If you're buying used, you're not going to get the warranty of a new bike. And then if you're going to buy used, try buying locally as opposed to from a land far away. So the second thing that I did was to research the bike that I had decided that I would want to buy. And I did this by joining or requesting access to the Facebook group for Pivot owners. And on that group, that Facebook group, I was able to review a lot of the pictures, get some good insight, ask questions, and search for common issues related to the Firebird. The other good place to go to, which I did, is Pink Bike forums. You get on there and you find a forum for the manufacturer or the bike that you are interested in buying, and you'll find all sorts of information, and you begin to get an idea of how reliable the bike is or is going to turn out to be. We're back up to the top here. Whew. What an incredible morning. The third thing that I did was to determine what the fair value price of this bike was, right? And so to do that, it's pretty simple, at least in my opinion. I go to Pink Bike and I key in the year, the brand, you know, the bike itself, and I look at all of the listings on there and I get an idea of what the asking price is. Now, you got to pay close attention to the build, right? But yeah, that's what I use, right? So I get on Pink Bike, punch in the bike, look at the different builds, and I get an average asking price, and then I deduct $200 to $300 from that price, because I found that most people are willing to negotiate down up to $300. Determine what the average asking price is or listing price is for the bike, deduct $200 to $300, and that's what you're looking at paying. Hey,
What's up, Milton?
what's going on, fellas? Oh yeah, good morning guys. What's going on, Corbin? Now comes number 4, inspecting the bike. Again, I highly recommend that you buy local, but if you do decide to buy online, just make sure and get a lot of pictures from very different various angles, close-ups and what have you, just to make sure that what you're getting is exactly what you want. Inspect the bike. What I recommend is that you request the seller to wash the bike, so that when you show up, that it's inspection ready, right? You'll definitely want to check the down tube as well as the top tube, looking for cracks, hairline cracks. Scratches will likely be present, right? Because it is a used bike. But you just want to make sure that the frame has not been compromised. Definitely inspect the stanchions on the fork, on the shock, as well as on the dropper post. Any type of scratches to the stanchions, it could be a deal breaker. Fill out the brakes, make sure that they're not sticking. Flip the bike upside down and check for any damage to the wheels. So spin the wheels, the one out back, the one up front, and just look at it closely. And what you're looking for is really a wobble, right? If you do find that a wheel has a wobble, that could mean that it just needs to be trued, but it can also mean that the rim itself is damaged, and so you want to inspect for that. Yeah, so check the brakes, check the wheels, check the frame, and ride it around, shift up and down, make sure that it shifts right. And then that takes me to number 5, common mistakes that at least that I've seen people make when buying a used bike. And one of them is, if it's not shifting correctly, the assumption is that it's the derailleur that just needs to be adjusted. However, there are times when you could have on the cassette a completely broken tooth on one of the cogs, and so if it's shifting well throughout all the gears, but there's one in particular that it just keeps on skipping, inspect that cog and inspect every tooth to make sure that there isn't one that it's broken. The other common mistake that I've seen people make is not adjusting the dropper post to their height. And so they'll hop on the bike, they'll ride it around, they won't adjust the dropper post, and you need to, because there are times where that dropper post, it's pretty much all the way slammed, and it's still too high for you. If it's too high for you and you can't insert it anymore because it's slammed to the frame, then you're gonna need another dropper post. And now you're looking at an expense of over $200. But yeah, those are the 5 things that I look at, and I hope that you found them useful. If you did, hit like on this video, share it with someone whom you think would benefit from it. And if you've not subscribed, subscribe now. Until next time, ride faster, don't die. God bless. You. I'm gonna go down overdrive. Good seeing you guys. Are you guys doing overdrive, or what are you doing?